welcome to my kitchen. My name is Sherry, and today we're going to be making a strawberry rhubarb lasagna. Or at least that's what I intended to call it. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't really sound too appetizing. But I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a 4-layer delight that my mom made when I was growing up. And she would use like a lemon jello or a chocolate pudding. And it was this beautiful 4-layer dessert. And it had Cool Whip and cream cheese. And like I said, the pudding. And then it had like your cookie crust on it. I don't know if it was cookie or she made it out of something else. But anyway, I don't know what we're going to call this today. I think we're just going to call it yummy, yummy, yummy. But before we get started, let me just say, if you like new recipes and you love tips and tricks for your kitchen, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications. All right, so to get started, we're going to work on our filling first. And let me tell you something else. If you want to make this really, really simple, and you guys know I love my 5-ingredient recipes, instead of making your own pie filling, you could buy it in a can. And instead of making your own pie crust, you could buy one of the pre-made ones. And this would shorten this recipe to just 5 ingredients and make it really, really simple. But I ran into some rhubarb the other day at the store. I ran into it. I'm talking about it like it's a person. I saw some rhubarb at the store the other day, and I thought, I want to make a dessert. I haven't seen rhubarb in a while. And so I grabbed some. And if you've never bought rhubarb, it's basically when you go to the store, you're just looking for red celery. That's what I like to refer to it as. So it's really, really tart, but I love the way that it plays with the strawberries because they're really, really sweet. All right, so I've got 2.5 cups of rhubarb that I've chopped up. And I've also got 2.5 cups of chopped strawberries that I'm going to add to this. Oops, we missed a few strawberries. Okay. And then I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of white sugar and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to kind of mash these up as we go. But I need to wait for my pan to warm up a little bit. And we are also going to put in a tablespoon or so of orange juice and about a teaspoon of vanilla, or 2. You guys know I really like vanilla. All right, and maybe a pinch of salt. All right, so as this warms up, I'm going to start working these strawberries and the rhubarb down in here and kind of mashing them a little bit. And they'll get a little more liquidy once the sugar works in with the strawberries. So, and then what we want to do is bring this up to a boil, and then once it comes up to a boil, we're going to cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so this has been cooking for, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes now, and you can tell when it's ready when it starts to get really thick and it's bubbly. And the one thing I forgot to mention, because this is what makes it thick, is you also need to add in a 1/4 cup of cornstarch before you ever bring it up to a boil. I stopped for a second ago and I realized the cornstarch was still sitting there, so I had forgotten to add that in, but I did manage to get it in there before it came up to a boil. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the heat. I'm going to transfer this into a bowl, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge so it can cool down, and then we'll work on our crust. Okay, now for our crust. So just think of this like whenever you make a cheesecake and you do it with the graham cracker crumbs and the butter. We're kind of doing the same thing here, but instead of graham cracker crumbs, I decided to use cookie crumbs, and I bought pecan shortbread cookies. So you could use vanilla wafers, you could use whatever kind of cookie you want. I just thought this would go really well with the cream cheese and the strawberries. So I've probably got, I don't know, I used the whole package, so probably 1.5 cups to 2 cups of cookie crumbs, and I'm just going to add a 1/4 cup of melted butter. And then we're just going to give this a stir. And this is going to form our crust. And I normally do this like in a 9x13 pan, but I found this and I thought it might be a little bit prettier in there. So I decided we're going to use that instead. So just use whatever you have on hand. I do recommend using the glass though, because that way you can see the different layers that go into it. I think the pink or the red and the white is just really, really pretty. All right, that looks about good. So I got a little bit on the side there. All right, so I'm going to pour this into here. And then we're just going to press it out with our hands. Okay, so I lied. I didn't use all the cookies because I ate 3. I ate 3 out of the package last night. So my crust is a little bit more moist than I would like it to be. But that's okay because we're going to put this in the oven and we're going to bake it at 350 for, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes or so. just until it's kind of set. Good enough. I don't think anybody will ever know I ate those 3 cookies unless they watch this video. All right, so in the oven she goes for about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, so our pie crust is finished. I let it cool off just a little bit. I'm going to set this aside. And then also our strawberry rhubarb pie filling is cooled off also. So like I said, if you bought a pie filling in a can and you bought the crust already done, this would just be a 5-ingredient recipe. So the other 3 things we need is whipped cream, cream cheese, and powdered sugar. So I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to work on my cream cheese layer. And that is just 8 ounces of cream cheese and then a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm just going to slowly add it in. So first I'm going to beat my my cream cheese a little bit. All right, so once the cream cheese has been beaten just a little bit, I'm going to start adding in powdered sugar. I'm just going to do this a little bit at a time. All right, so once all of the powdered sugar is incorporated, then we're going to take 1 tub of, you're going to need 2 altogether, but 1 tub of whipped cream. Let's clean off my beaters here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stir in a whole container of whipped cream. I'm just going to kind of fold it in. Now, once all this is mixed through, we can go ahead and put this on top of our crust. You could just use this for a dip. Smells good. I could just dip fruit in here and eat it. All right, so I'm going to smooth this out. Once that's all smooth, then we can go ahead and add our strawberry rhubarb layer. I'm going to give it a quick stir real quick. And then same thing, I'm just going to smooth this all over the top. All right, that looks good. And then the last thing is another container of Cool Whip right on top. And then normally I would have a little bit of cookie crumbs left over that I would sprinkle on top of here. But if you remember, I ate a couple of cookies, so we were like 3 cookies short. So I didn't have any to spare. And that is just about it. So this is going to go in the fridge. We're going to want to refrigerate this for at least 2 hours before we cut into it, but preferably overnight. And that's just about it. All right, so into the fridge she goes. I just pulled our strawberry dessert out of the refrigerator. It's been in there for about 3 or 4 hours. Like I said, I prefer to leave it in overnight, but I wanted to go ahead and bring it on camera and taste it, see what it tastes like. And I did find another box of vanilla wafers, so I may crush up some of these and put them on top. I haven't decided quite yet how I want to photograph this. So I'm thinking I may just want to spoon this in here since it's not in a square pan. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. But anyway, I think I may crush up some more cookies and put those on top. Either way. Another thing you can put on top is some nuts, and you might want to toast those first, but that would give it another little bit of layer of flavor and texture. This looks good. This is seriously good. This is really good. We might have to hide this from the family, although I couldn't eat all that, but I could if I put it in the freezer and just it's kind of like a cheesecake. This is really good. Can you tell? And you know what? You could use any kind of pie filling with this. Like I said, if you don't want to make your own, just buy a can of pie filling. You could do apple or any kind that you wanted. Yes, definitely give that a try because it's so easy to make also. I mean, it takes a little bit of time in the fridge, but other than that, it is super simple. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.